of our lives. And we can't vote for uninformed. So thank you for giving them your time and attention. And we're now going to hear from a hero fighter for immigrant rights, Parelkar.
Thank you so much. Yes, the name is Parelkar, and I am going to tell you now today. Well, she said I'm an immigration lawyer, so I'll give you a little bio, and then I'm not going to bore you with any more of that. Immigration lawyer, my ancestors served in the revolution. I'm married to a naturalized citizen from Mumbai, India. My mother and father-in-law are permanent residents, they live with me. I have 2 kids, they are 8 and 10 in our public schools. And in 2016, I took my daughter to vote for what I thought, she was born that year, was going to be the first female president, and I was really excited. And that is not what happened. So I spent the next 4 years really angry with everybody on the right, including some of my own family members. I didn't talk to a lot of them, called them all idiots, won every argument on Facebook, but it got me nowhere. The next 4 years were a huge relief because we were out of that. We never had to deal with that again. But then when he ended up there again, I started going, what am I going to do? I started worrying about my family because it was stressful enough practicing immigration law the first time around, but now it was going to be worse. We didn't expect it this bad, this fast, but here we are. To the point that my best friend was stopped just a couple of weeks ago for no other reason than to check her papers because of her skin color. And thank God her 8-year-old was with me, so she didn't have to witness that. But I'm pretty ticked off about the situation. A situation that could be solvable if the people in DC wanted to solve it, but they don't. They want to keep it on the table so that they can manipulate us every time it's election season again. And so, last year, I found community in a group online. And we started calling our senators and everything else. And we got wind at a town hall in Oakland, Kansas. And so I went. I left the house at 3 o'clock in the morning and asked Roger Marshall that day how he's going to get us on the same page. I called out his lies that day because he was lying to us. And then when he left, I was really angry because he's supposed to serve us. He's a history major, a political science minor, and with a secondary education concentration, this man does worse than the student government at my children's school in representation. So I went home, after telling him I wanted his job, I went home and I said, you know what, no, I'm gonna find a way to recall this guy. But guess what, there's no way to do it. I believe that is wrong, there's no way to do it. It should be very difficult, but we've gotta be able to do it. So, continuing on, I started going out of my bubble, going out of my left wing, reinforcing my algorithms, my beliefs, scaring me to death bubble, right? And I started going, what is going on? Because some people I love, some people I know who love me, would never vote against my family in this way. I couldn't believe it. And what I found was if I had their truth, the one that they think is true, I might have voted the same way. So I started going, oh my God, okay, we're gonna have to have some grace for these people. What I didn't expect was after I read a book called Combating Total Mind Control, I figured out I had also been manipulated and lied to and used for my vote. I was vote blue no matter who ever since Hillary, and I was angry with young people because they didn't do it. What are you doing to our country? But then I finally figured it out. They're not going to come out and vote for the same thing. And how do I know that? Because they're on my team and they're telling me. I'm talking to people who are leaving the country because they do not see a future for them. So if we want young people to come and vote, we gotta give them some buy-in. How do we do that? We give them a voice at the table. They're not going to let the establishment keep their table any longer if they don't get a seat at it, and I don't blame them. But here's my biggest concern, right? And my biggest concern since I started this was how do we save our country? I want to save our country. And so along this line, I've actually reached out to most of the candidates in my race. Some of them I said, hey, we gotta work together to figure this out. And for some of them, this is clearly a career. It's not for me. I had a solo immigration law practice around my kids' schedule. I was pretty content. I did not need to start doing this on air. If I had found a candidate that was better than me, I would have supported her. I didn't find it. I have extensive legal background. I know how to navigate federal law and policy, but most importantly, I need to save this country from my kids' futures. And so as I've been asked to drop out occasionally, I said no, because I voted how I was supposed to vote. I've done everything I'm supposed to do, and y'all did nothing for us. You have failed us and let us down. So here I am today. I have never run for office before, and I have done the most with the least amount of money. And we have built a movement truly of by and for the people. And my people will tell you, if you speak to them, this campaign is not about me and never has been. It's always been about we. And how do we, the people, come together to take our country back from the people that have torn us apart. And as a historian, I'll tell you this, the worst atrocities throughout history are committed when the citizenry turns on each other. And so that's where we have to focus. We have to have those hard conversations, even though it may drive you crazy, even though they may say abhorrent things to you. I've got a Trump supporter who shares my stuff about data centers on Facebook now. That's how far I've been able to reach the other side. And I promise you this, coming from a conservative family in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, I know that reality. I know how to speak to them. I've lived urban, suburban, and rural. Living with an immigrant from Mumbai, I know how to speak to people who aren't even from this country. I just understand that we all need the exact same things. And if we start talking and we figure out the whole truth, we agree on a lot more than we think. And one more thing, and I'm going to go away. It's this analogy that I want you to take with you because I think it's so important. My best friend told me this. He said, it's like we're on a boat together. The United States is a boat. We're all on it together, right? And there are holes in our boat. But instead of working together to plug the holes in our boat, we're arguing over what the guy next to us is wearing. And we've got to focus on the holes in these boats. Whether it's me, whether it's Adam, whether it's Dr. Labs, whether it's Noah, whether it's whoever it is. You think, you pray, whatever you do, you vote for who can win and who's going to fight for us. If it's me, I promise you this, I will go and I will do the best dang job I can do it, and then I will go away because I'm going to turn limited. I'm so sorry. Thank you all so